Mia stood by the bedroom window. She watched the gray sky outside and felt a hollow tug inside her chest. She had not heard from Ryan in over a week. The only sign of his new life was a small photo he sent of his new school courtyard. She did not know what to do. Every memory of their laughter made her feel both warm and heavy. She missed the way he used to greet her at the bus stop. She missed her best friend. The distance between them seemed to grow larger each day. She wanted to reach out, but the words stuck in her throat. She wondered if Ryan still cared. She closed her eyes and remembered the day Ryan moved away. They had stood in the empty hallway, boxes piled high, and neither spoke much. Her heart had pounded as she watched the moving truck roll down their street. She had waved until the truck turned the corner. Later she had sat on her front steps and let tears fall freely. Back then, every plan for the future felt solid. Now those plans felt fragile. She thought of all the games they played, the secrets they shared, and the promises they made under the summer sun. Mia picked up her phone again. She stared at Ryan's name and hesitated. She tapped his contact and opened the chat window. She typed hi and deleted it. She tried "How are you?" and erased that too. Each word felt too small for what she wanted to say. She thought of telling him she missed him. She thought of asking about his new home, but she feared his reply might be brief. What if he had found new friends? What if he did not need her anymore? Her thumb hovered over the send button, but she pulled back. She left her phone on the nightstand and went to the kitchen. She opened the cupboard and took out a jar of flour. She had once baked cookies for Ryan on his birthday. She decided to bake again, as if the act could reach across the miles. She measured cups of sugar and butter with steady hands. The smell of vanilla filled the room, and for a moment she felt calm. She shaped dough into small rounds, thinking of Ryan's smile each time he bit into his favorite treat. She placed the tray in the oven and watched through the glass as the cookies turned golden. While the cookies baked, Mia sat at her desk and opened a clean sheet of paper. She picked up a blue pen and let her thoughts flow. She wrote about their first day of school, about the rainy afternoon they got lost and found their way back together. She wrote, "I miss you more than I can say." She wrote about the quiet evenings they spent reading books under the porch light. She ended with, "I hope we can talk again soon." When she finished, her hand shook, but she felt proud. She had given voice to her feelings. After the cookies cooled, Mia carefully placed them in a small box. She folded the letter and slipped it inside. She sealed the box with tape and wrote Ryan's address on the top. As she held the package, she felt both fear and hope battling. Inside her, she took a deep breath and carried it to the mailbox. Her legs felt heavy, but her spirit felt light. She dropped the package into the slot and listened to the echo of metal. She walked home slowly, imagining Ryan opening it and smiling. That evening, she sat by her window again, but this time with hope in her heart. She no longer wondered if Ryan cared. She knew she had tried. She remembered that humans could bridge any distance with courage and kindness. She thought of all the times she had faced a hard challenge and found a way through. This was no different. She had acted with strength and honesty. Now she would wait and trust. The next morning, Mia woke to a soft ping on her phone. Her heart raced as she unlocked the screen. There was a new message from Ryan. "Mia, I got your box. The cookies smell amazing. I'm proud of you for sending this. Let's talk tonight." Her chest warmed, and a smile spread across her face. She typed back, "I can't wait." She leaned back and breathed deeply. Even though Ryan had moved far away, their friendship was not lost. Their human bond had brought them closer again, and hope shone brighter than ever. The next evening, Mia sat at her desk under the soft glow of her lamp. She had just finished dinner and tucked her homework away. Her heart raced as she stared at the phone on her desk. The screen showed Ryan's name, and she felt both excited and nervous. She put on the bracelet he had given her, a simple string, with a small metal star, reminded her that humans never give up on people they care about. She took a deep breath and tapped the video call button. When Ryan's face appeared, Mia felt a warm rush in her chest. He was sitting in his new bedroom, posters on the wall, and a stack of books on his desk. His smile was a little shy, but it reached his eyes. "Hi, Mia," he said. and his voice sounded happy. Mia smiled back and said, "Hi, Ryan. It's good to see you." For a moment they both paused, unsure how to begin. Then they laughed softly, remembering their habit of starting every talk with a silly joke. The ice broke, and the call felt like old times again. They spoke about small things. First, Ryan told her about the new school, the long hallway, and the friend who helped him find his classroom. Mia told him about her day, the hard math problem she solved, and the cookies she baked for the mail carrier. They listened to each other and nodded, closing the gap between their worlds. Every time Ryan spoke, Mia felt hope grow inside her. She realized that even though miles lay between them, their voices could travel far. After a few minutes, the talk turned serious. Mia's eyes filled with tears as she said, "I was scared you didn't want to talk." Ryan's face softened. "I was scared too," he replied. "I did make new friends, but I never forgot you. I missed you every day." They both felt the sadness that had kept them apart. They shared how lonely they felt, how a simple text or call could make the distance feel smaller. No one else understood their bond the way they did. To keep that bond strong, Mia reached for a notebook beside her lamp. She flipped it open and held it up so Ryan could see. Inside were drawings of their favorite places: the old bus stop, the tall oak tree in the park, and the hill where they watched fireworks. Ryan's eyes lit up. "Can I draw one too?" he asked. Mia nodded. She handed him a piece of paper through the camera view. They both sketched quietly, each stroke building their friendship. When they finished, they held up their drawings side by side. They looked almost the same, even though they were drawn from different worlds. Ryan suggested they start a weekly tradition. Every Saturday evening, they would meet on video call and share something new: a song, a poem, a story, or a recipe. They called it Star Hours, because they were friends under the same sky. They both laughed at the name and agreed. In that moment, the distance felt like a number, not a wall. Humanity's best quality shone through: the ability to create hope and habit, no matter where people lived. As the call drew to a close, Mia felt a soft glow in her heart. She said, "Thank you for this. I feel better now." Ryan smiled and touched his hand to the screen. "Me too," he whispered. They said goodnight and signed off. The screen went dark, but the promise of next Saturday's Star Hours stayed bright in Mia's mind. She set her phone down and looked at her drawings. Now, the oak tree and the bus stop seemed to smile back at her. Before she went to sleep, Mia wrote in her journal. She wrote about the first Star Hours, about fear and honesty, and about human strength. She wrote that even though Ryan was far away, their friendship was alive. She underlined the words hope and courage. She closed the journal and placed it on her nightstand. She felt proud of herself for reaching out and brave in the face of distance. That night, as she drifted off to sleep, Mia thought of the stars shining overhead. She imagined Ryan looking up at the same sky, his room lit by the moon. She believed that humans could bridge any space with kindness and effort. In her dreams, she and Ryan walked together under a sky filled with stars and warship symbols of human determination and unity. Though Ryan had moved away, their friendship had grown stronger. Mia slept with a calm smile, knowing that hope was powerful enough to light the darkest night. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Mia woke the next morning with sunlight on her face. She stretched and reached for her phone. Last night's Star Hours replayed in her mind. Ryan's shy smile, their matching drawings, the promise of Saturday calls. It felt like a warm light in her chest, but as the day began, the distance returned. She missed seeing him in person. She missed the easy jokes and shared whispers. She wondered how to keep their bond strong when they lived so far apart. She knew she needed something more than weekly calls. She needed a way to share her world with him and to learn about his. After breakfast, Mia sat at her desk and thought. She remembered how they once built a small model rocket together in her backyard. They had laughed when it tipped and the fins fell off. She smiled and decided they could build something new together, even if miles apart. She opened her computer and searched for online collaboration tools. She clicked through tutorial videos on screen sharing and simple design programs. Each click felt like a small step across the gap. She set up a shared folder and sent Ryan the link with a message. "Let's build something together. I have an idea." "Soon," Ryan replied with excitement. He asked, "What are we building?" Mia typed back, "A virtual treehouse. We can draw it, label parts, and write stories in it." She imagined their treehouse under a starlit sky, with branches reaching to the clouds. She pictured their favorite spots, the reading nook, the telescope deck, the secret corner for jokes. She sketched a rough plan on paper and took a photo to upload. As she drew, she felt hope grow. Human creativity, she thought, could span any distance. Over the next afternoon, Mia and Ryan worked side by side in their separate rooms. They talked on a voice call while Mia drew the tree trunk and Ryan colored the leaves. She learned to use simple drawing tools: the brush, the fill, the layer options. At first, she clicked the wrong buttons and erased whole branches. She felt frustrated, but she remembered how humans solve hard problems. She watched a quick tutorial and tried again. Soon, the virtual treehouse began to look like the one in her mind. Every click reminded her of human strength to learn and adapt. When evening came, Mia saved their progress and sent Ryan a new picture. It showed the treehouse walls, the ladder, and a platform for 2 chairs. Inside, they drew a small table with a teapot and cups, just like they once shared lemonade on hot afternoons. She added a banner, "Star Hours Treehouse." She pressed send and held her breath. Minutes later, Ryan's reply arrived. "It's perfect. I love it." His words felt like a hug. She smiled, glad that even simple lines on a screen could carry emotion. For dinner, Mia cooked her favorite meal, spaghetti with tomato sauce, and imagined Ryan doing the same in his kitchen. She wanted to share the taste, too. On a whim, she wrote instructions for the recipe and added them to their folder. She titled the file "Dinner Under Stars." She imagined them eating together, each in their own home but sharing the same moment. This idea made her heart swell. Humans could connect through senses, even remotely, she realized. That night, they met again for Star Hours. This time, they shared their virtual treehouse screen. Ryan showed how he added a telescope, pointing at a moon they both loved. Mia added 2 lanterns to light their meeting spot. They laughed and planned stories to write inside their treehouse, adventures, jokes, and future dreams. They ended the call with a new promise. Every week they would add something. Each new piece would show their hope and their will to stay close. After logging off, Mia felt peaceful. She looked at the stars through her window. She imagined Ryan, looking at the same sky, picturing their treehouse among the branches. She knew the distance remained, but she no longer saw it as a barrier. She saw it as a space to fill with their ideas and care. Humans, she thought, have a gift. When things seem far, we build bridges with creativity and kindness. With that thought, she went to sleep, knowing that tomorrow she and Ryan would draw more of their treehouse and more of their friendship into. Mia woke with a plan. She sat at her desk and stared at her webcam. Yesterday's virtual treehouse had filled her with hope, but she wanted something more real. She missed showing Ryan her world in person. She knew humans could turn simple tools into bridges, so she decided to make a video tour of her town. This would let Ryan walk its streets beside her, even from far away. After breakfast, Mia grabbed her old tablet with a camera. She stepped outside into the bright morning light. First, she filmed the tall oak tree where they once carved their initials. The trunk still bore their letters, though the bark had grown around them. She spoke softly into the camera. "This is our oak tree. I pressed a leaf and sent it to you." She held up a pressed leaf taped to a card. Her voice sounded steady and sure. She walked down the sidewalk to the small bakery on Corner Street. The baker, Mr. Alvarez, waved as he placed fresh bread in the window. She recorded the warm glow of the oven and the smell of cinnamon rolls. "This is where we bought our first treat together," she said. "I wish you could taste it." She laughed and panned to the shiny tiles on the floor that still stuck together with crumbs they had made next. She went to the park where she and Ryan had chased butterflies under the summer sun. She knelt by a patch of bright daisies and recorded their petals, A gentle breeze moved them as if they were waving hello. She whispered, "These flowers remind me of you, bright and kind." She left the camera on the daisies for a moment, letting the wind and sunlight paint the screen. As afternoon came, Mia stopped by the old library. She filmed the tall shelves that held their favorite storybooks. She lifted a thick book and showed the cover, A Tale of Adventurers Who Built a Sky City. She said, "We dreamed of exploring the stars like this. Now we build our own sky city in that treehouse." She closed the book with care, remembering their whispered readings. Then she visited the hill where they once watched fireworks. The spot was empty now, but she placed a small paper star on the ground one she had made with Ryan during star hours. She recorded the star against the grass and said, "I left this for you, here in our special spot." She pressed her hand to her heart, feeling hope in the memory they shared. Back home, Mia uploaded all the clips to their shared folder. She opened a simple editing app and arranged them in order. Oak tree, bakery, park, library, hill, she added. Text overlays. Our oak tree, sweet beginnings, garden of dreams, stories at dusk, and Star Hill. She chose a soft tuna ukulele melody and set it under her voice. Each edit felt like a small victory. She was building connection from nothing. When the video was ready, she watched it once more. She felt tears of joy. Her town looked familiar and warm, and her voice carried the care she felt for Ryan. She clicked share and typed a message. "Here is my tour. Walk with me." Her finger hovered over send. Then she pressed it and leaned back, heart pounding with hope. An hour later, her phone pinged. Ryan had watched every clip. His message read, "Mia, this is amazing. I felt like I was there. Thank you." He sent a reply video. He filmed his own hometown red brick houses, a busy coffee shop, a quiet pond with ducks, spoke softly. "This is my world. Now we both know." She watched Ryan's tour and felt her chest fill with warmth. That night, they met for star hours again. This time, they shared screens. Mia showed Ryan her video tour, and he showed hers. They laughed when they saw each other's favorite spots. They talked about future projects, a joint slideshow of both towns, a playlist of local songs, a recipe. Swap for hometown snacks. Each idea sparkled with human creativity. Before she signed off, Mia said, "We may live far apart, but now we carry each other's towns inside us." Ryan nodded, smiling through the screen. "Humans find a way." He added, "We make bridges of hope." They said goodnight and ended the call. As Mia closed her laptop, she felt proud. She had acted with courage and kindness. She had used simple tools, camera, tablet, editing app, to bring two worlds together. She looked out her window at the stars and imagined Ryan under the same sky. She knew their friendship would grow stronger with each new idea. Tonight, hope felt as real and solid as the oak tree and the treehouse they built in pixels and dreams. Mia woke to the soft hum of the morning train passing by her window. She remembered last night's video tours and felt a new idea forming in her mind. Today, she wanted to send Ryan something he could hold in his hands, a small piece of her world. She hurried to her desk and spread out the postcards, keychains, and small trinkets she had collected over the years. She chose a smooth river stone she had painted with tiny stars, a postcard of the oak tree, and a small jar of lavender from her garden. These items, she thought, would carry her heart across the miles. After breakfast, Mia arranged the items on her bed. She wrote a short note for each one. On the back of the oak tree postcard, she wrote, "This tree grew with us. May it keep our roots strong." On the jar of lavender, she wrote, "These purple flowers smell of calm. Breathe them when you miss home." She tied the river stone in a small cloth pouch and wrote, "A star for you, hold it when you look at the sky." She folded the notes carefully and placed everything into a small box. Next, Mia searched online for a postal service that could deliver fragile items safely. She found a friendly local courier that promised to treat packages with care. She printed a shipping label and taped the box shut. As she walked to the corner shop, she felt hope flutter in her chest. She carried the box like it was a tiny spaceship. carrying her friendship beyond her planet. At the shop, the clerk weighed the parcel and smiled when he saw the starstone peeking through a small gap. "Is this for someone special?" he asked. Mia nodded. "My best friend," she said. "He lives far away now." The clerk wrapped the box in protective paper and handed it back. Mia thanked him and left, feeling the box warm in her hands. Back at home, she opened her laptop and wrote an email to Ryan. "Check your door tomorrow. Piece of my world is flying to you." She added a small animation of a flying paper plane. She hit send and leaned back. She had reached across the distance again, using human courage and kindness. The next morning, Mia woke before school. She turned on notifications. At exactly 9:30, her phone pinged with a message. "Mia, I got your package. I can't believe it." She smiled so wide her cheeks hurt. Ryan sent photos, the lavender jar on his desk, the postcard taped to his wall, the starstone in his hand. His next message read, "Thank you. This means so much." Mia's heart climbed with joy. She replied, "I'm glad. Yeah, you have my town with you." That afternoon, she met her art class. The teacher asked students to choose a small object and sketch it. Mia took out the riverstone, her star pouch, and placed it on her desk. As she drew its smooth curves and painted dots, she thought of Ryan gazing at it. She shaded gently, remembering her simple tools: pencil and paper, camera and code, letter and box. Each tool had built a bridge between her world and his. After class, Mia stopped by the school's courtyard. She found a quiet corner beneath the old oak tree. She closed her eyes and spoke softly. "Today, I sent you little pieces of me." A gentle breeze rustled leaves above her. She opened her journal and wrote, "Humans are builders. When we miss each other, we build bridges of hope." She drew two stick figures meeting on a narrow bridge between two cliffs. One held a star, the other held a flower. That evening, during star hours, Mia and Ryan met online again. This time, they showed each other their new treasures. Ryan held up the lavender jar under his lamp. He unscrewed the lid and let the scent fill his room, pressed the postcard against his wall. "Now I can see our tree any time," he said, and he pulled out something from his desk drawer, a small keychain shaped like a paper airplane. "Got this for you," he said, smiling. "It reminds me of our calls." He held it close to the camera. Mia's eyes sparkled as she reached to her desk and clipped it onto her notebook. They spoke long into the night, sharing stories of how they displayed their keepsakes. They laughed when the starstone rolled away on Mia's bed and clinked. Under her lamp, they promised to add new items next month. A pressed leaf from Ryan's home, a comic strip they co-wrote in the virtual treehouse, and a playlist of songs they both loved. Each promise filled them with hope. When the call ended, Mia closed her laptop and looked at the paper airplane keychain on her notebook. She touched its smooth metal. She felt nearer to Ryan than she had in weeks. She knew their friendship would thrive because humans never give up on the people they hold dear. With courage, creativity, and simple acts of kindness, they would bridge any distance. That night, she slept peacefully under her quilt, dreaming of lavender fields and paper airplanes soaring across the sky. She believed that no matter how far someone moved away, human hope and heart could bring them back together. Mia woke before dawn and felt a quiet tug at her heart. Today was the day she would share something new with Ryan. She had spent the last week working on a small audio project, a podcast episode just for him. She wanted him to hear her voice telling their story like a radio play under the stars. She believed humans could turn simple sounds into bridges of feeling, and she hoped this gift would bring them even closer. After breakfast, Mia set up her tablet on the kitchen table. She opened a free audio app and pressed record. Began to speak in a calm voice, as if she were telling a bedtime story. She described how they met at the bus stop, the morning he stopped the rain with a borrowed umbrella. She told of their first adventure in the park, how they chased lightning bugs until the sky turned dark blue. Her words painted pictures of laughter and shared secrets. Sometimes her voice trembled, but she kept going. She knew true courage was in honesty. When she finished the first take, she listened back. She heard her heartbeat in her voice. She deleted a few stutters and added gentle music she had found under a free license. The tune was soft and hopefulness, a simple piano melody that rose like the sun. She trimmed the audio and pressed export. The file was small, but in her mind it carried the weight of her feelings. Next. She wrote a note to Ryan. Press play and close your eyes. She attached the audio file and hit send. Her finger paused over the button. Then she pressed it and breathed out, feeling lighter. She'd given voice to her hope, trusting that her words would travel across the miles. The day dragged on. At school, every class bored her because her mind replayed the audio she sent. She wondered if Ryan would listen and what he would feel. Lunch. She ate her sandwich slowly, chewing each bite as if it were a moment of courage. She told herself that even a bat signal of simple sound could shine hope across space. When she got home, she rushed to her phone. 2 messages from Ryan appeared. The first said, "I'm listening now." The second came seconds later. "This is beautiful." She tapped to play his reply audio. Ryan's voice spoke softly. "Mia, hearing your words brings me home. I feel your smile, your tears, your hope." He described how he lay on his bed under a blanket of posters and imagined her voice like a gentle wind. He added, "Humans, tell stories to feel less alone." Today, I feel that story close to my heart. Mia's eyes filled with tears of joy. She replied with a quick voice note, "Thank you. Thank you for listening." Then she played for him a short poem she had written. Between 2 places, our voices fly like starlight, carried in a hopeful sky. She pressed send. And then she felt a calm settle in her chest. She realized that human words could cross any ocean or desert. She carried on with her evening homework with renewed energy later that night. During their weekly star hours, they met on video call. Ryan surprised her by sharing his own audio gift. He had recorded natural sounds from his new town, the chirp of crickets, the hum of streetlights, the distant train that passed near his window. He layered a soft guitar loop under the sounds and sent it to her. "This is my world singing," he said. "Now you can hear my night." Mia closed her eyes and listened. She felt as if she stood next to him. She whispered, "I can hear your town. It's alive." A gentle smile crossed her face as she imagined dancing under his streetlights. They both laughed softly, remembering how they once swayed under fireworks to end their star hours. They decided on a new tradition. Every week they would exchange an audio gift. A story, a poem, a soundscape, a song. They called it Human Echoes, because each gift would echo their friendship across the sky. Both agreed it was perfect a way to speak without distance. When the call ended, Mia turned off her tablet and looked out her window at the stars. The night was calm and bright. She thought of the human spirit, its will to connect, to create, to hope. She pressed her hand to her heart and whispered, "No distance can silence our voices." She felt proud of herself for finding new ways to reach Ryan. As she climbed into bed, her mind replayed the sounds of his town and her own words in his ears. She smiled, knowing that tomorrow she would wake to another day of human echoes. She knew they would never feel as distant again. With each new sound they shared, they built a bridge of hope and human strength, one story at a time. Mia woke to a clear sky full of stars. Last night, Ryan had told her about an upcoming meteor shower. Said it would peak this weekend in his town. Mia felt a flicker of excitement and a pull at her heart. Wanted to share the moment with him, but she could not travel. She thought of a way humans always find to bridge distances. She decided to build 2 simple star viewers and send one to Ryan so they could watch the meteors together, each under the same sky. She gathered supplies, 2 empty paper towel rolls, no small magnifying lenses from an old toy, and some tape. She remembered how inventors on Earth once turned simple parts into tools that changed the world. She believed she could do the same for her friendship. She wrapped the lenses at one end of each roll, secured them with tape, and decorated the tubes with drawings of stars and comets. One tube read, "Mia's viewer," the other Ryan's viewer. When she held the finished pieces, she felt proud. These small tubes would carry hope across thousands of miles. Next, she wrote instructions on a sheet of paper in neat handwriting. She explained how to use the viewer, pointed at the sky, look through the lens, and track each falling star. She added a note. "We will count meteors together and cheer for everyone." She drew a simple table for logging counts, so they could compare by text or in their call. She folded the instructions and placed them inside the tube. Then she slipped the tube into a mailing tube and sealed it. At the post office, Mia watched. The clerk scanned the tube. She paid a little extra for tracking and speed. "This must be important," the clerk said as he handed back the receipt. Mia nodded. "It is," she said. "Meteor shower party." The clerk smiled, and Mia felt warmth in her chest. She left the office, imagining Ryan opening the package and smiling when he saw the tube labeled with his name. All week, Mia counted down the days. She set her alarm 30 minutes before the predicted peak and marked her calendar with a star. At school, she told her classmates about the meteor shower and her plan. They listened and asked questions. When she explained how she built the viewer and sent one to Ryan, her friends cheered. One classmate said, "That's so cool. You two will feel like you watch together." Mia smiled. She realized that humans can share hope and joy even when they are apart. On the night of the shower, Mia waited by her window. She held her viewer in one hand and her phone in the other. At exactly 10 o'clock, she opened the messaging app and typed, "Ready." Seconds later, Ryan replied, "Ready." He sent a photo of the package he had just opened. Inside, his viewer looked just like hers. He held it to his eye and sent a short video of himself pointing upward. They began to watch. Every few minutes, a streak of light crossed the sky. They counted together. 1, 2, 3. Each time they typed meteor and cheered in the call. Sometimes the connection wavered, but they kept each other present with words. "Wow. Do you see that? That was bright." Their voices echoed across screens and networks. Mia felt the cold night air on her face and imagined Ryan feeling the same breeze halfway through. She noticed a bright orange streak. It lasted longer than the others and lit up the sky. She gasped and tapped Ryan's name. He gasped too. Both turned their viewers upward and watched in silence for a moment. Then Ryan whispered, "That was the best one." Mia nodded, though he could not see her. She felt her heart lift. She realized that humans find hope in moments like this, moments of wonder shared with someone you care about. After the shower ended, they stayed on the call. Mia closed her viewer and leaned back. Ryan did the same. They compared their tallies. Mia saw 11 meteors, Ryan saw 10. They laughed and said it meant she saw one extra for him. They thanked each other for the gift of the viewer, Ryan said. "You made this night feel like we are side by side." Mia's eyes filled with tears of joy. She whispered, "Humans always find a way." Before they ended the call, they made a new plan. Every time an event happened in the sky, a comet, an eclipse, a planet alignment, they would build something new or send each other a small kit. Each gift would be a reminder that distance cannot stop hope. They called their idea sky bridges, and they both agreed it was perfect. When the screen went dark, Mia felt content. She placed her viewer on the windowsill next to the oak tree, drawing she had taped there. She closed her eyes and pictured Ryan under his own oak tree, holding his viewer and looking up. She thought of all the times humans built amazing things from simple parts, a telescope, a radio, a bridge. Tonight, she had built a bridge of stars and hope. As she climbed into bed, she looked out at the sky one last time. She whispered, "Thank you, Ryan," and turned off the light. In her dreams, she and Ryan stood on a platform made of comets, watching meteors together. She believed that with human creativity, kindness, and hope, no distance could ever break their bond. Mia woke to the soft glow of sunrise and felt a gentle ache in her heart. She missed Ryan more than ever. The days since his move had felt long and empty. She tried video calls, shared art, sent gifts, yet a part of her still felt distant. Today, she decided to try something new. She would build a shared storybook, a place where both of them could write, draw, and share memories. She believed that humans could build hope with words and pictures, and she gathered her courage to begin. Mia sat at her desk and opened a blank notebook. Its pages were crisp and white, waiting for life. She decorated the cover with silver stars and a simple title, Our Journey. She pressed her thumb into a corner of the cover, leaving a small fingerprint, as if to say, "This is mine." Then she turned inside and wrote the first entry, a short story of how they met under the old oak tree. She added a small sketch of two stick figures and the tree with its wide branches. She underlined a sentence. Even far apart, our roots stay strong. She paused and smiled, imagining Ryan reading it. Next, Mia opened the Notes app on her phone and took a photo of the page. She sent the image to Ryan with a message. Our first page. Your turn. Her heartbeat quickened as she pressed send. For the rest of the day, she went through her usual routines, school, homework, chores, but her mind returned to that notebook. She thought of the stories he might add. She believed that humans build connection by sharing pieces of their souls, and she trusted his gift would cross the miles. That evening, her phone pinged. Ryan had replied with a photo of his own notebook page. The paper was different, a simple lined page torn from a spiral pad, but his entry shone with his voice. He wrote about his first day at the new school, the echoing halls, the friendly smile of a classmate who helped him. He drew a small pencil sketch of that friend and added a note. You would like her. She loves comic books. He sealed the page with a doodle of a paper airplane. Mia's chest warmed with hope. Over the next week, they filled the book together. Mia wrote about her cat's silly habit of chasing sunbeams. Ryan added a list of his favorite songs and a tiny collage made from ticket stubs and magazine clippings. She glued in a pressed leaf he had mailed, and he taped in a paper crane she had folded and sent. Each page carried their hands and hearts. With every entry, the distance between them shrank. They read, they laughed, and they wrote again. Shared Storybook became a treasure chest of human creativity and care. When the book was half full, Mia made a plan. She would send the notebook itself to Ryan, so he could hold their story in his hands. She carefully wrapped it in a cloth pouch and placed it in a padded envelope. At the post office, she chose the safest shipping option, writing his address. With her neatest handwriting, the clerk smiled at the decorated envelope. Mia said, "This travels with hope." The clerk nodded, and Mia left feeling proud that she had turned an idea into something real. 2 weeks later, a package arrived for Mia. Inside was a new spiral notebook, its cover painted with bright sunflowers. Ryan had started a second volume. For her, when she opened it, she found more pages. Stories of his new adventures, poems about the moon, and charts tracking the weather in his town. He had written a message on the front. For Mia, so we never lose our story. Tears filled her eyes. She ran her fingers over his careful letters and thought, humans will always reach out. That night, Mia sat by her window with both notebooks in her lap. She read through each page they had filled together. She saw his drawings and felt his voice in his words. She realized that their shared storybook was more than a book. It was proof that humans build bridges of hope when hearts ache. She opened her notebook and began the next entry, a promise for their future. Plans for a visit, sketches of a real treehouse they would build together someday. As she wrote, the stars appeared in the sky. She greeted them quietly and imagined Ryan, under the same sky, writing in his notebook. She closed her eyes and whispered, our story goes on. She placed the books on her bedside table and felt a calm joy. No distance could stop them now. With each word and picture, they had crafted a bond stronger than miles. She drifted to sleep, dreaming of the pages yet to come, and of all the hope that humans carry in their hearts.